DeAndre Hopkins and Demaryius Thomas in Houston. So what do you guys make of this trade here? Because we heard some rumors about maybe them trying to get Deshaun Jackson to fill that speed role when Will Fuller went down. But what do you think about Demaryius?
They checked out a number of wide receivers, and as it all, I mean, the Patriots were in on some of these other guys, but realizing that the value was a lot higher, what other teams were willing to give up than what they were ready to give up. Somebody said to me in Houston when I talked to them yesterday after this deal was done, no one's going to replace Will Fuller. And I was like, okay, I get that. He was coming on. He's got a skill set. He's a young player. And I said, but it's kind of like, that's what you say about Jerry Rice. Like, nobody's going to replace Jerry Rice.
Right.
Like that. So I thought that was interesting. But they do still feel like Demaryius has got some production that he can bring there.
I can tell you why they say that, because I talked to DeAndre Hopkins for a while just a couple of weeks ago down in Houston. He told me what Will Fuller does, not just to catch the football, but what he does for this entire offense makes my life so easy. The way he stretches the field, he said, the pockets I can get into. He said, when Will Fuller's not off the field, and he saw that last year when Fuller went down, and he was playing for, I think, 4 games with Deshaun Watson without Will Fuller. And he said, I can see the defense lines up differently than when Will Fuller's on the field and when he's off the field. And it is night and day for me. And he was telling me this prior to knowing that Will Fuller was going to go down. Yeah. And so that's the difference that Will Fuller, they're saying that is where you can't replace him because that speed and the way he changes this offense to make one of the best receivers in football.
I want to know what Bart thinks about that because Adam Gase in Miami, when I talked to him one time about Kenny Stills, he said, you can see Kenny Stills' stat line, but what you don't see are what are called hidden yards, what he does to set up other guys.
Well, you think about Robbie Anderson does the same thing, Paul Richardson, Pierre Garçon, when he used to be able to run, he slowed down since then. But what he does is he's able to take the top off the defense, and if you pair him to the same side, he can grab the safety's eyes, which you can isolate other people. With Fuller being out and Demaryius Thomas coming in, now he's more of a possession receiver. He has a huge catch radius, but he's not running by anybody anymore, so that means he has to get vertical with double moves and things of that sort. So I don't understand, because now, DeAndre Hopkins is going to have to do a role reversal where he's going to have to be the vertical guy because he has more speed left, so it's going to take him out of his comfort zone and make him do more than he's used to. They don't really have a guy with yak yards anymore. Fuller used to catch, a 40-yard bomb and make it a 60-yard touchdown. Hopkins has always been a great receiver, one of the best in the game, but he's not a guy that ever has a lot of yak. He usually catches and falls right there or tackle because he's not breaking away. So now, if I'm a defender, I'm sitting on a lot of these routes because I understand that they're going to be at 15 to 16, and now I can make sure I can put that safety in the box and try and rob those hitches and those digs and all those other type of route combinations.
Now we're seeing DeAndre Hopkins go and have another thing against him and overcome, as it's been quarterback after quarterback, change after change, and he still comes out and performs over and over again, and we're probably going to see it happen again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is going to really help them move the chains. They don't really have that tight end that can do that, and so they have Kiki Cutie, who we saw kind of emerging.
That's going to be the guy that they kind of want to send downfield in a sense to replace him.
Right, yeah. So it is kind of interesting that they're playing the Broncos this week, the Texans. Like that, how
so
the universe really lines up like that. It's really amazing.
Will be
I will be there. I'll be there with my best friend Mike Silver. We'll be there together. And the huge poster, or I shouldn't call it a poster, it's on the outside
of
the banner down the length of the stadium of Demaryius Thomas. It will now say thank you across the top. They're going to honor him. They're going to do a lot of things. They already say he's going to be in the Ring of Fame. They've already come out and said it.
Ooh.
On the day that he's traded, he will be in our Ring of Fame.
But what is that saying to Denver? They're all, I know Emmanuel Sanders, like, what about me? I want to go to a contender.
That was an upset locker room.
Though. It's an upset locker room, but and
Emmanuel Sanders
yesterday,
himself.
I find this funny. Yesterday was, we need to get more playing time for Cortland Sutton. You can play up to 5 wide receivers at one time. It's not like it's one position and it's a quarterback and you can only play. So they're being respectful. Demaryius Thomas, in their minds, was slowing down. Yeah. So he had $14 million coming to him next year. So they said, well, let's get the value for him right now. I respect the fact that they're not saying it, but if he was still that guy, he would be on the roster and they'd be willing to pay him what he's
lost a step, but
no state taxes is okay.
Exactly. That's great.